You're about to watch a lesson that I recently gave to Geoff. Now, Geoff came to me struggling with the driver. He wasn't as consistent as he'd like to be, and he wasn't really hitting it as far as he'd like to be. We made some great changes, and I want to share that with you today. So Geoff was really struggling with contact. Some of them, yes, were at the center, but the strikes were tending to move a little bit down towards the toe, and sometimes catching off the bottom of the driver, giving him some really indifferent results. So I'm going to share with you exactly what we did. And in this lesson, you're going to see how we actually made those changes and the process that we went through to get Geoff to ultimately start to do some better drives and perform a little bit better with this club. Let's get into it. We don't need to do anything from here.
Right,
really.
okay.
Is it perfect? No. But is it good enough for what you're trying to do? It is.
Okay.
I'll show you the goal swing. I certainly don't think it's particularly picked up. You'll see that the club moves away.
Yeah.
The club is slightly outside your hands, which
Yeah.
I like, and actually you get into a position at the top where, I mean, it's really good. Again, delivery is really nice. You know, there's a lot of things that are really, really good there. Your club path, which is the direction that the club is travelling in, is pretty straight.
Right, okay.
It's marginally out to in, which is why you said you play that little fade sometimes, which is fine. But it's not to the point where it's a concern and we need to tidy it up. You need to get that club swinging better.
Right.
Okay, more freely around your body. Okay. In the takeaway, in the backswing, your arms do too much of the work.
Yeah.
So your right arm is very bent
Yeah.
because your shoulders haven't moved. Yeah. Then what I want you to do is notice two things on the way through. Number one, the elbows tend to bend a little bit.
Yeah.
So the distance between the elbows gets a bit too great.
Yeah.
Elbows tend to bend a little bit more. Then I want you to pay attention to your left pocket, hip area. And I want you to just watch where that hip goes relative to that golf bag.
Right, okay, yeah. That way.
Back away from the target. When we look at your back foot, what do we see the heel doing? We see the heel
Going that
spinning backwards.
Yeah.
If we were to separate the elbows, create more distance between them, then that would tend to want to bring the club closer to us. So we're not going to, well, you certainly haven't topped it every time, but there's the chance of that happening. And then if I was to do this and rotate my body towards the target, but actually as I rotate my body, move my hips backwards, that's more likely to drag the club around in this direction. You're not releasing the club head as efficient as I'd like you to. And as that's happening, the body's tending to sort of spin on this foot. And that's a movement which drags everything around this way. And when that happens, and the arms separate, you're always risking that kind of low shot. So what we've got to try and do is try and get a little bit better turn in the backswing. And then actually on the way through, feel like we just let that club head actually swing a little bit more. Where's the balance point? It's down towards the club head end. So if I was to completely relax my grip, have my arms a little bit bent, and hold the club as lightly as I could, and start to swing it around my body, that club, as it goes through, would actually pull my arms straight. So the momentum of the club is trying to straighten your arms. So if your arms are bending, you're kind of fighting what the club wants to do. You know, you get to a point here and that club wants to go down and up this way. And you fight that. You kind of drag it this way and the arms come in and you pull this way. Now, why does that happen? Difficult to say. But confidence would be a big one. You know, you stand on a hole where, as we were saying earlier, you've got trees and maybe a bunker, you know, and you get a little nervous and you get to this point here and your brain goes no, and you kind of pull the arms and you hold on to the club at the foot. There's not enough swing of that club. So we've got to get the club swinging a bit better around your body. And then once we get the club swinging around your body, we've got to then support that with a slightly better body movement. So my right heel is right up against that bag. I should be able to swing and miss the bag. Now at the moment, your heel is kind of spinning this way as the hips are going backwards and the arms are sort of coming in. When you take a setup, the distance between your chest and the club head
Yep.
is pretty much as great as it can be.
Yep.
Okay, that club head can't really get any further away from your chest.
Yep.
But as soon as you make a backswing, then that distance narrows a little bit. In the downswing, when that club head is as far away from your chest as it can be again, should be there, about here. Now, if you separate your elbows, this is kind of what's happening. So you're fighting against the fact that the club wants to do that. There's got to be a little bit of trust here, Geoff. Okay, and just to that. That's it. Good, and just let the club hit this bag. Perfect. And just do that a couple of times. No more speed, but just start to relax the grip. Perfect. And just start to feel what this is going to be like as you start to almost feel like you stretch out to this point. Okay. Hold it there. Okay, and the head will stay back a little bit more, but that's great. Beautiful. Good. That's it, yeah. Head down and back and just give it a... There you go. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. There you go. We always say light grip pressure, light grip pressure, light grip pressure. If you start light and carry on light, the driver will go 100 yards down the fairway. Yeah. So you will start light, but then you'll be pretty tight at impact because you're holding onto the club. The key would be, and this is quite difficult, okay, try and feel like you grip it really tight with your fingers. Like really tight.
The right hand.
Both hands.
Both hands, yeah.
So really tight with your fingers, okay? That's tight, but your wrists can still be loose. There we go. So you're holding on fairly tight with your fingers, but your wrists are loose. What most people do is this pressure increases here, these lock. Yeah. And that's an issue. Now what I want you to do is reach that extended point that we've spoken about. You're going to go through that point, but you're trying to almost visualize that. And at the finish, so if you go to that point for me, perfect, good. So you're going to go kind of through that point now. And as you finish and relax and relax and relax and relax and relax, I want you to feel at this point that the closest thing to the target is your belt buckle. Yep. And if you do that, you shouldn't hit that tray. Backswing. Excellent. So your heel lifted, but didn't spin. Setup, we are tilted over. Yeah. Finish, you are the opposite. That's what it should feel like. Love that. Beautiful. Backswing, we're going to keep it quite simple. I want you to feel like you turn your shoulders as much as you can. Throw the club head out as far as you can here. Yeah. Belt buckle at the target. Okay, that's your three things. Big turn, throw the club, belt buckle at target. Good, I like that. Didn't quite get enough behind it. That's fine, we've not really done a huge amount of work on that, that's fine. Better? If I had the club moving at, let's say, 15 to 20 miles an hour, and I relaxed my arms completely and I let the club head swing, it would hit my shoulder. That club is traveling 15, 20 miles an hour. Your club is traveling 90, and it does not hit your shoulder. No. So it finishes there. Yeah. So what's stopping that club hit your shoulder? Yeah. Because it wants to. It's got that speed and momentum, but again, it shows that there's a little bit of the resistance to letting that club do what it wants. Bigger turn as you can. Really feel that you stretch that point and literally feel as if you're bouncing off your shoulder. Do it without a ball to begin with. That's it. There you go. There we go. Now we're talking. Okay, get this shoulder moving early. Okay, big turn. That's it. There you go. That's better. That was closer. I like that. That was a much better movement. That was. It's much speed. So those are much better swings. Those last two. And it wouldn't surprise me. And this goes back to what you were saying a little bit about maybe in previous lessons where you felt like you can do it here and not on the course. It wouldn't surprise me if a little bit of that movement is because it's a hole and there's trees and there's a little bit of a history of some bad drives and it creeps in and there's a little bit of tension and trying to guide it down there, as opposed to actually just standing up and going, I'm just going to
I
commit
go
to
on
this.
courses and I can look at holes and think I'm not taking drive here because
Yeah.
I just can't see how to hit it.
Yeah. Now we're talking. Okay, now that one was your longest drive by quite a bit. But that was significantly longer. We're not trying to, let's see if we can find you 10 yards from somewhere, or find you 20 yards, or find you 30 yards. It's almost regaining those yards that you've lost.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that would be when you walk on the tee and you tee your ball up, you're going to have a potential distance that you can hit it. Let's say it's 300 yards. Now let's say you need a 9-degree driver and you've actually got a 10 and a half. So you've got the wrong driver.
Yeah.
So that 300 is now 290.
Yeah.
And then you don't let the club swing, so you hold on to it. It's now 270. Then you back up with the hips and you hit it off the toe, it's 250. So your potential is there, but there's certain things that you do in terms of maybe your equipment or maybe your grip or that chop away at that sort of number. So for me, I'm looking at the distances you're hitting it, and I know there's more in there. And the great thing with what I think you need to do going forwards is the more that you can start to do the things that we're discussing, I think you'll hit it more at the centre, straighter, and longer.
Right.
Because if everything's connected,
Yeah.
you know. And I think the things that you're doing, which is causing you to hit those bad shots, is probably robbing you of 20 to 30 yards on your good swings. Okay, feel the distance between this hand and this shoulder. Okay, feel like that distance stays the same.
Yeah.
Now it will start to kind of fold.
I can only do that by turning the shoulder.
Correct. So big, wide backswing, let the club go. Okay, I like that. That was good. So big turn, bounce it off your shoulder. Lovely, love that. Nice, clubs in the shoulder. Yeah, I was going to say how much better that was. Very good, very good. Now we all know timing is incredibly important. But if I was to hold the club with just 2 fingers here on the grip and move the club up to horizontal, the club has got a weight. So if I was to let go, it's going to have a natural swing. So if I'm literally just supporting the grip, but just see how far the club head goes the other side of my hands. Okay, it kind of goes to there. But then I can do things to the club. So if I was to let it go, and as it gets to about here, I'm going to pull that grip straight up. What happens? Goes further. So I put more energy into it.
Yeah.
But it started from a swing. Because if I didn't have the club swinging naturally, it doesn't matter what I do, it doesn't create the energy. And then you've got timing. So what we're saying is, if I let the club swing, add some energy to it, the club goes further. But if I let the club swing, add the energy, but add it at the wrong time, it actually saps energy out of it. So if I do it at the wrong time, that's got less speed. So all these things are trying to happen. So timing is so important. But it all starts with letting the club swing. So what I'm sort of saying with the driver is that we've got to get this club swinging around your body freely. So my arms are extended. Once it's swinging freely, then we can start to put some more energy into it and we can start to time it. And that's when you start to get the kind of real benefit. That's it, you got it. That's the one, perfect. Biggest turn you can, swing the club head. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. There you go, again, one of your longer ones. So on that one, because I kept your head back, you hit up on the ball more,
Yeah.
which is generally beneficial with the driver, which meant that that ball went further on a shot where you actually didn't swing as quick as some of the others.
No.
So on that particular shot, you swung slower and the ball went further because we've got the attack angle up. So I would think going forwards, you might want to drop that loft back down.
Okay.
Because at the moment, your club is traveling in a certain direction, this way.
Yeah.
So to get the height, you've got 12 degrees of loft.
Yeah.
If we actually give you more of an upward hit, you don't need that extra loft. And I think then what you'll find is that it'll give you another couple of yards as well. Your body was this way.
Yeah.
So this in front, this back, arms separating. And we're trying to go
The opposite.
this one, yeah. See, that's so good. So good. So that's your longest one. That's your longest one. But 17-degree launch angle.
Right, okay.
If you'd have made that swing and we'd have knocked that down a degree, that'd have been even better.
Further.
Because again, you're hitting up on it. I mean, that's perfect. That's really, really good. Now, I mean, distance wasn't the thing that you said you wanted. But the things that we're doing to help you hit it better will just give you more distance, because it's all about swinging the club, letting it go, and,
I'd
and that's
rather hit any of those
correct.
than these.
Correct. Because the way you were swinging it, 12 degrees was perfect.
Yeah.
But if you start to swing it a little different and you start to create the height through your swing, the loft doesn't need to be there. Wind it up, stay back, launch it. I mean, these are just great now. But your speed run up, which is good. Okay. Do you clip the bag then? Do you feel it with your foot?
Yeah.
So that was a little bit the older swing. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah. There's just too much loft on that club now. Very good. Very good. Liking that one. Speed run up, 93, good.